Welcome back. And now we'll get our teeth right into the issues this morning. We'll be looking at the judiciary and free and fair elections in 2015. Since independence, when we succeeded in lowering the Union Jack and raising our green, white, green flag, we have continued to seek credible elections in our nation. The judiciary plays a very important role in this because after elections are announced, some people naturally head for the courts, and in some cases, some verdicts have been reversed based on the facts of the case. Now, this morning, it's raining lawyers in our studio, and it's my pleasure to welcome the former president of the NBA, Nigeria Bar Association, Mr. Rotimi Akeredolu, SAN. Good morning.
Morning.
We also have Mr. Yemi Oke, who is a lecturer and also a legal practitioner, a lecturer in the Department of the Faculty of Law, University of Lagos. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
And we also have Mr. Olufemi Aino, of course, a legal practitioner. As I said earlier, it's raining lawyers.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning. Let me begin with Mr. Akeredolu, sir, if I may. A lot is going on the political scene right now. Do you believe that INEC is actually capable of conducting free and fair elections this time around?
Well, let me start by saying this. I mean, the judiciary is key to a free and fair election. But I want to say that the most important is INEC, entity, institution to guarantee free and fair election is INEC. And I'm happy you have put that question. I mean, first, speaking for myself, I am not too sure INEC is really ready for this election. But I'm sure, I believe that at the end of the day, they will only just run the election as usual. I know they've come up with PVC, permanent voters card. They've come up with so many theories. We have reader, machine, and co, so that everything will be foolproof. I'm not too certain about this.
Okay.
Issues
what makes you say that you are not certain that they can?
Yeah, there are obvious reasons. The money shows the day. That's the usual thing we are made to say. I mean, Yoruba land, the money shows the day. What is the percentage of people who have collected their permanent voters card? It tells you how prepared INEC is. I mean, do you know, as of today, whether the budget, which they have been clamoring for, is being approved and they have enough money to run this election? There are a lot of things that I would put on their way. I believe that if you talk about the reader machine, it should be put before all the representatives of the political parties, and let's test it. You must test run those reader machines. People have come up, they might be wrong, but you must prove to them that they are wrong. That reader machine does not read your picture. It does not read your photograph that is on it. It only reads the fact that that particular person was registered in that unit. That is only the number. So one then becomes fearful about the development that people are buying permanent voters card. If always you buy it up, if you mop it up, you give to anybody, it can go and vote, since it will not read its picture.
What about the fingerprint?
No, those are things that they must show to us. It's important for them to show to us that it reads the fingerprints. What I'm told, my source might not be empirical, might not be truthful, is that it only reads the fact that that card is registered in that unit, no more.
So anybody can use it?
Anybody can use it. So
dear.
then what is the effect of it? So they need to show. It's important for them to come and demonstrate it and says, oh, when the photograph is scratched, it won't read. Or when it reads, it shows that you are the owner. Your photograph is in, or it takes your biometrics to show. Anyway, when you slot it in, you are not going to ask to put your biometrics anyway. So,
you know, this process, we are almost at the peak of the electioneering process. But there are those who would say this is one of the reasons why we have the three arms of government, the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature, so that there will be the checks and the balances. Between the last election and now, it's okay. It's been 4 years. Couldn't the judiciary have ensured, I mean, looking at the constitution and the laws, considering also the fact that most of the powers have been taken off INEC, so to speak, and placed into the hands of every other person. I mean, anybody can go to court. Couldn't the judiciary, I mean, the lawyers, for instance, have gotten up to help put pressure on INEC to get things right?
Oh, okay, I guess that question is for me. I think it would be inappropriate to put the judiciary on the spot for action and inaction of political actors. That would be most inappropriate. Like the learned SCN said, to me, INEC is definitely not ready. There have been cases of trying to carve out new electoral constituencies, lopsided constituencies. People say, no, we're having it in the north, whereas those of the south have been collapsed. There have been cases, confirmed cases of impersonation. PVC of Mr. A, Mr. B went to collect it, signed for it. There have been cases of hoarding of PVCs by political actors, being cloned, being manufactured. There have been cases of PVCs being distributed in the northern part of the country, even in areas that are presently under heavy insurgencies, like Borno. And yet, in those areas, they have 80%, 90% of PVCs distributed, but yet Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, that had no insurgency, they're having 38, 40%, 56% collection of PVCs. So it was convenient for you to distribute PVCs in areas that are under insurgency, but not convenient for you to distribute in areas that are peaceful. I think this exam is to me, I definitely hope we're not going to witness the worst election. In 2011, INEC had to shift election even after votes had been concluded and were being sorted in some polling units. We had 2011. And the constitution is clear. The constitution provides for a minimum of 150 to 30 days windows for presidential election, for National Assembly election, governorship election. It's there. I've written even an opinion on it. INEC should not be desperate to conduct an election that is tainted with fraud.
Well, you saw the reactions when the suggestion was made
to me, it doesn't make sense. If you're not ready to conduct an election, the constitution is so clear. It's INEC above the constitution. The constitution says, okay, presidential, 150 to 30 days. And you are saying we willy-nilly must conduct 150 days.
No, hold on.
And it's not feasible.
If I may come in here, you saw the reactions when the suggestion was made by the NSA.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong in shifting, at least it will still be within the ambit of the law. You saw the reactions.
Let me say this. I think INEC holds this to posterity and Nigerians. That if, and only if, they show this election will be 100% credible, they should go ahead. If the likely inclination or evidence of inability to conduct a free and fair election based on PVCs and all these controversies, they should, in the interest of peace, slightly modify. I mean, the law provides for those windows, and they shouldn't be desperate about sticking to, well, not robots, 150 to 30 days. They can just slightly shift it. There's every reason to believe that, just like the LNS sense, it's an active stakeholder in those things. It's not. It hasn't come here to deceive Nigeria. It's saying, come, this thing is not realistic. How Friday will be, I mean, how Sunday will be, we start to know from a Friday.
Mr. Okay, yes. Let me just stick with you for a moment. The PVC matter that you mentioned, I have collected my PVC. Yes. And I presented my temporary card. My picture was checked. my PVC was brought. I was given a piece of paper to sign that had my photo and all my details, and she checked my face and confirmed I was the person before I signed for it. So how is it that people are able to collect other people's PVCs?
Honestly, is a very terrible story. The one that really got me worried, I looked at the statistics. It's there, online, in the newspapers. Breakdown of rate of collection. Borno State has 79% collection. Jobi
Not likely.
is there. Jobi has about 76. What's the other state now? Adamawa had about 72. There's no crisis in Lagos. Lagos at 46. Ogun at 38. So it should be easier to distribute PVCs in areas that are not under insurgency.
Peaceful areas. Yes.
I mean, what are we saying?
Yes, logically. Yes.
I mean, something really is not right. And Nigerians should really take INEC up on this.
Okay, Mr. Hano,
Thank you.
the pictures that have been painted here
Yes.
look dismal, grim. But do you agree with that?
No, I disagree. I absolutely disagree. And I'm disturbed for the fact that I even listened to the Leonard senior advocate when he said, look, I don't think they are ready, this and that. But I'm concerned because if somebody now comes with the suggestion that this election should be postponed, then you get a political party, especially the APC, which, with respect, the Lana senior advocate belong to, raising series of objections. But the point I want to raise is this. When you talk about free and fair election, it connotes a lot of things. It connotes adequate preparation, it connotes the need for transparency, and it connotes credibility. Now, I can't sit here today and say conclusively that, yes, INEC, they are ready. But we've been assured that, look, everybody will get their PVC, and we've been assured that come hell or high water, that this election will be transparent to a limited extent. Whether that happens or not, time will tell, because time is a good weapon. But I appreciate some people, you have people who are still saying, look, 2 weeks to the election, we still have this problem. It's very unfortunate because, you know, you've had the luxury of time, almost 4 years to prepare, and at this stage, people are still complaining they are yet to get their PVC. That takes my breath away and disturbs my sleep.